Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Donald Clark, one of the acupuncturists here at CY Fertility, CY Healing Arts. How is everybody today? I it's been really kind of up and down weather-wise up here in central New York, as I'm sure a lot of people know in the northern hemisphere. We had snow and warmth, 80 degrees, and snow and warmth. So we're kind of fluctuating, mad fluctuations between spring, or actually between winter and summer. So we're hanging in there. We haven't quite gone into full spring mode yet, but we're doing our best, and flowers are up. So it's time to start thinking about planting our flower gardens, and yeah, here it comes. So today I just kind of wanted to bounce back to some fertility, some really basic fertility sound advice that sometimes we shy away from. And it's really easy to complicate things, right? But when it comes right back down to it, the more simple it is, the better it is. So I just wanted to kind of go back to what I call fertility 101, and that's what we're going to do. Excuse me. So there's lots of ways or lots of journeys, lots of avenues you can take when family planning. You know, and if you are considering, or if you are planning on starting a family, I really encourage everybody to take a couple, 2, 3, 6 months, a year ahead of when you're actually trying to conceive, if you have the time, and try to change some of your lifestyle, some of your diet stuff, and what that's going to do is it's going to pay off hugely in the final results of um, conception, positive pregnancy, viable follicles, healthy embryos, all of that, a healthy spirit, a healthy being, all of it. And so, I'm just going to chit chat a little bit about some of the things that I do recommend as you move forward into your fertility journey. And I'm going to kind of break it down, a little bit. But the first thing that I wanted to, the first avenue that we're going to take is lifestyle. So, I've talked about it so many times before, and it's really true. I strongly encourage that. Thank you, Brittany. Thanks. I strongly encourage that you slow and or stop your exercise. Now, you know, going for walks, yoga, even Pilates to a certain extent is okay, right? It's all pretty low impact, and it's not very cardio oriented. So, those are okay to do. It's the high impact stuff I don't want you to do, right? I don't want you training for biathlons, triathlons. I don't want you doing Iron Man, Iron Women. I don't want you doing, step aerobics, basically. I don't want you lifting, a lot of weights. I just want you to just kind of, use your own body mass um, as your weights, right? So yoga and stretching. And what that's going to do is it's going to lower the stress hormones in your body, and that's it's going to lower the cortisols and the adrenalines. And as you know from basic science, that the stress hormones are your fight and flight hormones, right? So those the polar opposite of fertility hormones, your progesterones and estrogens. So you want your progesterones and your estrogens to move freer through your body, and you know, to move uninhibited. And so that's our goal, right? And so by slowing down your exercise, slowing down your cardio and your running, that's gonna achieve that. And the goal in this initially the goal in the fertility journey is to keep your stress levels down, right? We have enough stress as it is in our daily lives, and And I know that sometimes when people work out, it relieves their stress, right? What it does is it relieves one kind of stress, but it just adds in another kind of stress. Now, if you're not family planning, then, don't even disregard that advice, have at it, exercise. But if you're family planning, you want to take away the stress, right? So we want to take away that physiological stress. At the same time, we want to take away the mental stress, right? The emotional stress. So, as far as lifestyle goes, cut out the exercise, slow down, try not to inundate yourself with um, things that you can't control, right? So, you know, stay away from news, stay away from, stuff that doesn't make you feel good, especially when you watch it or read it. So, kind of cut that out of your life a little bit more than normal. What that's going to do is it's going to kind of insulate you or create a little bit of a nest, right? We often think about nests as like, physical, right? Your surroundings. But a nest in the fertility journey can be an emotional nest, it can be a spiritual nest, and it can be a nest where you feel safe. It's a safe place. So eliminating some of the contact with all the negative spin in the world is going to do a lot of good for you. So cut down on that as well. And so exercise, cut down on that. Try to spend a little. I am a big fan of spending time outside. Your body tends to start to come into rhythm with nature if you can spend more time out in it. Right, feel the wind, feel the sunlight, feel the darkness, feel the night. The night has many stages of darkness, and those that are nocturnal know those different stages. And if you start to spend some time, we all go inside when it gets dark, right? But if you spend a little time outside at night, you'll see the different stages of darkness and how awesome it is. And to know that night has as much life as day. And so, spend some time outside. Feel the earth, plant some flowers, and so kind of get back to it. And what that does is it's going to slow your brain wavelengths down. It's going to slow your whole system down to a more natural rhythm, and that's going to help with your stress hormones, and then it just allows your body to metabolize them back out of your system, and it doesn't, and you won't be putting as many back in, and so that's going to help out a great deal. So lifestyle, do a few things. You don't have to do all of it, right? If you tone it down, 10%, 20%, 50%, you've done something, and you should feel good about that. Now, even when it comes to meditation, right? So I always say 1 minute of meditation is much better than no minutes of meditation, right? So there's lots of great classes, lots of great apps, lots of great books on meditation. So look into meditation, slow the mind, slow the brain. Our brains function at such a high rate of speed in the modern world that it's tiresome, right? And so slow down, slow your brain, slow your body, and read. I love to read, so try reading a little bit. That'll slow everything down. Lifestyle, diet. I do encourage people, especially going into the spring and summer months, fall, to decrease your caloric intake. Eat simple, right? Don't eat complex. Eat simple. Eat high fat. So if you're eating high fat, and you don't have to eat as much because you're getting everything you need from your high fat diet. And what that's going to do is it's going to calm your body. It's going to calm your reproductive system. It's going to lower inflammation. Your body's going to know it has all the fat it needs. And that's all it really comes down to when trying to get pregnant is having enough fat, right? You can see it time and time again in the natural world. So lower your caloric intake, eat higher fat, and try, if you can fast from time to time, I encourage that as well. So you know do those things. So lower your caloric intake, increase the amount of fat that you're eating, and you'll feel better as well, and you'll get rid of some of the bloat and some of the fatigue. And if you have any, you'll be amazed actually if you have any muscle skeletal issues, those will get better as well. Keeping a high iron level is really crucial. So you'll find that your iron levels go up a little bit. Your lining, your endometrial lining will be better. So it's a win-win. And so lifestyle, food, right? That's everything. And try, this goes for men too. Try to do some things to harmonize your system. And when I mean that, I mean massage, yoga, acupuncture. And I can speak quite a bit on acupuncture. And what we do with acupuncture is we can literally take a brain wavelength and move it from an alert, high functioning wavelength, right, a really fast one, to a slower, a sleep, a docile wavelength, right? They're further apart. And what that does is it tricks the body into thinking it should be at rest. And so everything relaxes, things dilate, muscles relax, and you go into a very, 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 very deep sense of relaxation. I've fortunate enough throughout the years to have had many different alternative therapies or modalities, and they're all wonderful. They all have a purpose and a place. And but I can honestly say, and it's not because I'm an acupuncturist, but acupuncture is very strong in that it can drop you down into that very earthly realm of relaxation very quickly. And when you do that, a lot happens, right? A lot of inhibitions kind of fade away, but at the same time, it strengthens us, our physiology and our spirit, to where we're not, if we're getting bombarded with all the stresses in the daily lives, it doesn't affect us as much because we're stronger, right? We've strengthened our core, we've strengthened our energy, we've tonified ourselves. So I try to do some things that'll make a big difference further down the road. And when I say, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 months, 6 months, a year, you do what you want. And somebody, might already be, doing yoga and acupuncture, and and you're very healthy. You might not need as much preparation. Then there could be somebody who still smokes, drinks alcohol a lot, and does a lot of unhealthy things. They may need a little more time. And we have time, right? We're young, we're healthy, we have time. And when you're talking about fertility, um, you can see someone might come in, and or I might see somebody or talk to somebody, and they might be, let's say, 35, but they're so stressed out and they have not taken care of themselves. And, they've just really abused their body for years and years with alcohol, tobacco, poor eating, poor lifestyle, bad job environments, and, they're 35, but reproductively, they're a bit older than 35. And so, and then, you see someone come in who's 35 and they've taken care of themselves and they've, put a lot of effort into maintain themselves. Their reproductive health is a little younger. So, try not to stick to a certain number and say, oh, I'm 35, I'm not going to get pregnant. Don't do that at all, because it has a lot to do with, your overall physical health and spiritual health. At the same time, if you come in and you're 50 and you have poor health, don't give up either, because you're still young and you're still able to make significant changes that can positively affect your reproductive system. So you're never out. There's never an out of time. You're never out of time, and there's never not enough time. The whole biological clock thing I think it's really messed with a lot of people in their minds, and because it really doesn't exist. So get that whole thing out of your head. So, do acupuncture, do massage, do yoga, do Reiki, do chiropractic adjustments, do whatever you think you need to take, take your supplements. And a little bit at a time. Quit smoking if you smoke, quit drinking if you drink, quit eating bad food, right? Don't eat those empty calories. They do absolutely nothing for us. I say that time and time again. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a good donut, right? But you can't just eat a donut and expect that you have everything you need from that donut, other than immediate gratification, um, which is awesome. But then it's fleeting, and so there you're like, oh, I ate the donut. I shouldn't have eaten the donut. Get the donuts away from me. So don't eat the donut, or if you do, feel good about it for a minute, but then move on. And so do a few of those things, and I think it's going to be, I think you'll see great, a great change, a great benefit from all of that. And let's see, I feel like I'm forgetting something. Am I forgetting something? Hey, go ahead and pose a question, and let's take a look here. I'm just gonna, a few people have popped on. I'll see what I can do. Sorry. Monica, I guess I'm really not kind of following. Is that a question? It is a question. Um, you know, Banked donor eggs at 46. Yeah, why not? Results. I can't speak on the results, but I can say, yeah, you're in it. You're definitely in that window for sure. Um, uh, Unicornate uterus. That's definitely IVF, right? And that's the only advice I have is, that's where a specialist is going to really come in and help you on that journey. There's really nothing that I don't even know if internal PT could do anything for that, to be honest with you. Um, yeah, I'm not sure. Uh, chill, chill, chill. I really can't comment on medications. I've been here long enough where I've heard about all of them, and I know what they do, but I just can't comment on them because I don't know you, and I don't know it, being that I don't know your current medication list or all of that, and so I really can't get into it. So that I think you can tap into your portal, and they can give you a little bit of advice on that. It's the same thing goes with, you know, how many would you transfer? And how many would I transfer? I don't know. That's a personal question. And also, it goes back to, the embryos themselves and how they look. Um, and those, your embryos look really good, Eli. Ellie, sorry. They look really good. So I wouldn't, I would let the doctor discuss that with you, or embryology, and Maureen has an embryology post, I think once a month on Facebook. So she would, look for her post, and she would totally be willing to go over that with you. But you're in good shape. So don't, you know, don't let it get up inside the attic of your mind, right? Try to keep it out, right? Boom. And because you got to remember, you're healthy, you have great embryos, and again, it goes back to, and don't get me wrong, it's a humongous, monumental journey, and it's a humongous, monumental day. And I'm not taking anything away from that, but I just want people to remember they're healthy, and trust the process. And I often tell people, that we used to have a zoo party here, And for a lot of our clients and our patients, we used to rent the zoo out, and I don't think we do it anymore. But man, you wouldn't believe the children and the families. And so, we wouldn't be here if we weren't successful. So we're successful a lot with what we do. So trust the process, and you'll be happy. And I know it's hard, and it's a hard journey, and there's a lot of people here for you, which actually has nothing to do with you, but I will give them a plug. We have a fertile spirit group too that talks a lot with you know it's just open conversation about the process. So check those guys out as well. Great quality eggs at 35. Uh, how to produce great quality eggs at 35. Be you. Live your life. Happiness. As long as you're doing it in regards to family planning and doing some of the things that we talked about. I don't want you out, drinking all night and having fun that way. If that happens, then all right, you had fun. But you got to kind of knuckle down a little bit. And 35 is really young. It's not old. Again, get away from that whole fertility biological clock thing, and do some of the things we talk about. Have a consultation with me if you have really a lot of questions in regards to things that you can do to help benefit yourself for fertility and follicles and embryos and eggs. Then call me and or set up a consultation and we'll chit chat about it. Yeah, I don't know if if I've covered everything or not. I hope so. I feel like what'll happen is I'll get out of here and I'll be on my way home and I'll be like, oh man, I left out the most important thing. So I apologize. And you're more than welcome. If you have your tubes tied, that's okay. That's all right. They just implant the embryo in your uterus. You don't really need a tube, and they would take the eggs out via egg retrieval. So there you go. It's easy. It's not an easy process, but on the day of transfer, I think the hardest thing for people is holding their bladder so that they have a full bladder. Otherwise, it's very quick and really not that uncomfortable unless you have to hold your bladder. So, in the egg, stimming and building up to egg retrieval can sometimes be very uncomfortable, and even after egg retrieval can be uncomfortable. But leading right up to the transfer day, on the transfer day, it's not so bad. And like I said, the biggest thing is the commute and the holding the bladder. I hope that helps everybody. If you have any questions, just give me a holler, shout out to me. And again, on Wednesdays, I'll be there for you. Have a good weekend, everybody. Thank you.